flight today, as we are with the Airbus A340-600 with Emirates Airlines, and we're going to be doing a flight from Vienna to Dubai, which should be a really nice flight for us today. We've got some lovely X-Enviro clouds in the vicinity, so we'll have some nice weather coming out, which wouldn't be ideal for the passengers, but for us it would be lovely to see. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Help us get to that 2k subscriber goal. And now we can get inside the cockpit and start the aircraft up ready for our departure out of lovely Vienna. We are now in the Airbus A340, so we'll go overhead now, get all of our batteries on, the APU gen, we can get our external power on, etc., which is also available. We can turn on all of our pumps, get them all ready to go. So lights out pretty much on the systems. Go overhead now, we'll get all of the IRSs in and checked. Cruise supply, recorder can go on, pitos can go on with the master switch for the APU, which should also be checked, and we'll start up in just a few moments. We can get our beacon on, nav can go to nav 1, and the APU can now come on. Seatbelt signs can now go on and checked. Everything else is all set and checked for us. Packs will come on with the APU bleed once everything's aligned, and we'll go ahead and get all of our systems lit up, ready for our departure today. As we leave out, we're taking the Adama departure, so it should be a nice tight turn on the takeoff, and then we'll move on to that right hand turn to intercept as we come through. Now there is a few switches, knobs just under here. If we can see them, we'll get them all in and set, so just leave everything as it is for now. As we go into the FMC, we can get our performance and everything all set. Floodlights can go on, predictive wind shear can also go to auto, and for the T-Con, which is manual, number 1, which is checked. So we'll go into the FMC, we'll get our performance up so that we can get everything all ready to leave out of lovely Vienna today. So we're going to put the company route in now, so we can get that all ready. So Lima Oscar, Whiskey Whiskey, Oscar Mike, Delta Bravo 01, and that's going to be our company route, which is going to go in. We can insert that. We'll get the IRSs, confirm a line on a rev, which is checked and set. Flight number is 2257. Passengers we've got is 316. Cost index is 180. Cruise is going to be for 400. On for our zero fuel weight, we have 244.7, 19.6. On for the block is going to be 80.1. And we're going to the flight plan and get our departure routing. We're taking the Adama 1 Delta on the departure, leaving out runway 34. So there's runway 34, the Adama 1 departure, and we can insert that. We're going to go for our takeoff config. We've got 2 and 3, so we can see we are going to be pretty heavy as we come through. So we'll take takeoff config full toga, I think, which will be good for us. 169 as we come through, 167. So no flex, V2 174, 169 packs are going to be off. So we'll see how that fares out for us, and then on the arrival we'll then get everything all prepared. So there's our 169s, and we'll see how we fare. So a very fast departure today. 169, 169 for rotate, and 174 for V2. Very fast with our takeoff. We've got 2 up 4.4, which is checked. No flex to temp, so that is everything all there and configured. So what we're doing now is we are just waiting for the IRSs to become aligned, and then once they are aligned, we can carry on with the rest. Going to be aligned in 1 minute's time. So whilst we wait for that, we'll check the METARs as we've got down in for Vienna. We're leaving runway 34. We've got 290 at 12 knots, which is in on our winds. Got some rain. We've got a few clouds at 1000, scattered at 1500, broken at 1900. Temperature's 8. If we have a look down, we can see temperature 8 degrees and everything else is looking a-okay. QNH is 1001. Okay, so 1001, which is it. IRS will be aligned in 0 minutes, which will be checked. Go down and check all of our systems. We can see the hydraulics are off. We can see the APU is all on, up and firing. If we go down to the recall, everything's normal. Go onto our systems, everything's normal there. So we should be all ready to go. There's the IRS now come in, and as we are all set and ready to leave, what we can do now is we can call the tug and get ready for it. Now going to drive us up. We can turn on the terrain, get that all set and checked for us. We can turn on the co-pilot's terrain as well. As we're leaving now, auto brake can go to RTO, which will get set once everything comes to life. The trim will also come to life once the hydraulics come on. So as we go overhead now and check everything out, external powers can be switched off as we've got the APU on, which is set and checked. On for everything else, seatbelt signs are on, emergency exit lights are armed, beacons are on along with our navs. Nose will be to taxi once we're ready to go, runway turn off lights as required. Everything overhead is fine, all lights are fine and checked.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect, set, parking brake.
Parking brake is set. So onto the flight plan. We can see on our departure, once we leave out runway 34, we're going to get to 1700 feet, make a left hand turn or right hand turn, and then follow that all the way down to the Whiskey 390, where we'll then make a left hand turn to Daima. So we're going to go for 1700, we're going to put 400 in as the autopilot is going to take full control. So 400, everything is managed, as we can see the little dots, so that is the autopilot taking care of everything for us, just like LNAV and VNAV. Aircraft's now being lifted and we are now ready to leave. So we go over to the engines, get them onto engine
Now
start.
connected and bypass pin inserted, release parking brake.
Okay, parking brake is released.
Starting pushback, and you may start the engines.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and start engine number 3. Wait for 10% N2 and then we'll go for engine number 4. So engine number 3 and 4 now have come to life, so we have engine number 1 and engine number 2. Okay, so it's going to disconnect the tug. We're going to get ready to leave. We are going to be looking for a flaps number 2 setting. So we can go ahead and get the takeoff config. As he drops us down, we can go ahead and check the hydraulics, which are all in and flowing nice. We should see the trim now, which has gone down, which is all set for us. TCAS can now go to T8. APU bleed and everything is all ready to go, so the APU bleed can be switched off, the master APU can be switched off as we now switch over to the buses, and we should be ready to leave. And check all of the bands, 1, 2 and 3.
Tower is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. I'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
See you soon, bye bye. So what we'll do is we'll arm the spoilers, we'll get the auto brakes to RTO, takeoff config flaps test, and we'll get our flaps down to number 2. We're going to be going for a PAX off takeoff full toga today, so it should be very interesting for us. So we'll get our nose light to taxi, we can get the runway turn off lights on as well. Bring the control column over, and we are now ready to taxi. So parking brake is released, and what we can do is we can now power on up to runway 34. So we test the takeoff config, which is normal and fine. Overhead APU will go off. As we taxi through, we're going to come through to Echo, which is then going to bring us onto our right hand turn, which will follow us all the way down to runway 34. You can see we've got some lovely clouds in the area as we do go to take off today. And on for the taxi out. We're basically going to make a right and then a second left. Engine start and go back to normal. So we can see on the engine display it's saying packs. We're going to turn them off. So we're going to make a right hand turn now. Now we're going to take this right hand turn that's going right up to us on the left. Then follow it all the way down to Echo. Lovely textures for X-Enviro as well, which is coming through. Now we're going to taxi on down all the way to the bottom and enjoy the lovely weather. So we are now at the end of Echo, where we are going to make this left-hand turn, which takes us onto the Bravo 1, 2, and then we're going to line up ready to go. We'll get our packs off, and everything will be checked and set for us. So I'm going to put the TA to RA, which is on and checked. Terrain weather is on. We can see on the terrain there is no weather in the vicinity, as we can see. So we'll leave that all checked. Packs are going to go off once we line up and get ready for our departure. Over the whole shore. We'll come around the back end so we can get all of the runway in. Okay, so we'll line up here. So here we are now on the runway ready for us to leave. So if we go in and check onto our perf, we've got a 1694 rotate. We're going to turn off the packs 1 and 2, which is off and checked. Window heats are on and set, and we are now ready to go. So we'll put on the strobes, which are on and checked. Nav to 2, nose to take off. Landing lights are all on. Cabin is going to be ready to go, and we are ready for full toga 169. So I'm going to power on to 40%. Release the brakes and toga. So we've got toga, SRS, runway. Auto thrust is blue and thrust is set. And 100 knots, neutral on the column. For 1700 feet, and then we're going to climb back on for that right hand turn. So gear is off now. We'll go into that right hand turn as we fly through the clouds. Level climbs in as we now pitch down just a little. Continuing on, following the flight director. And the aircraft does a nice job. They just fly through some horrible weather at the moment. 180 holding as we climb up now for 250, and we'll go up to our slab retraction speed. So lovely sun as we blast through the clouds. A little bit of rough air. We're passing 200 knots now, on our way just skimming through the clouds. 3003, still flying the aircraft manually. Packs 1 and 2, which is off, so we'll go and put both packs on. The aircraft does a lovely job of actually staying stable. Slight turbulence in the air as we're passing through 3007, still hand flying the aircraft. Let's come to our slab retraction speed. Slats can be retracted. So we'll do a bit of hand flying. We'll fly the aircraft manually just for a little while, as it's quite nice and stable to fly the Airbus. A lot more controllable, as we don't have to worry about trim input coming through. As we just follow in, passing through 5003 on the Adama 1 Delta departure. So as we're coming up now, 250, which we've got in, the autopilot can go in, which is checked, AP1 is on, and we are ready to basically climb through on our way to lovely Dubai. On for the terrain, we can see any terrain in the area, as we're going to just make through, passing through 6006. Once past transition, we'll then be able to push through and go through to our standard QNH. So we're on to climb out now, up to flight level 400, cost index 180. as the aircraft does a lovely job. 252 for 10,000, and we can start to speed up. So we're just passing 7,007 now, holding 250 knots. Ground spoilers can be disarmed, no smoking seatbelt signs are on, and TCAS standby, which is now auto, and that should be all checked and set. We'll do the recall, so can go and do the recall, which is normal. We'll go on to our systems test, and we'll do the recall on there, which is all normal and checked. Check over on the engine display, you can see the hydraulics, everything looking lovely as usual. Doors, the wheels. So we are all set now, on our way, passing through 9,700 feet. Now the QNH is back to standard, and landing lights, runway turn off lights can now go off, which are checked. Ding the cabin, tell them that they are free to start moving around. And what we'll do now, guys, is we'll go to our Takeoff Cinematics, and once we get back, we'll get to our top of descent, ready to come in for a lovely Dubai, in for the VTUB arrival down in for runway 30 left. So don't forget to join me when we get back in the cockpit, ready for our arrival into a lovely Dubai. Come from 400, we've come down into 35, and now we're going to be leaving to come down in. We've got our initial, which has been which is also set. Check now as the aircraft now starts to decel and come down for flight level 100. Once we come down from LOWW 280 all the way to 17 by the time we get to our decel point, and then we've got VTUB. We're going to be coming in for the arrival runway, which is going to be, we're not taking the VTUB 3 Delta, we're going to be taking the VTUB 3 Bravo, which is going to then bring us down onto the runway, which we are going to be coming down onto runway 12. So we're going to change the runway, as it is going to be a lovely arrival in, and be not to spoil it, we're coming in for runway 12 left. We're transition for Reshade, where we're then going to start to come down on the arrival. So we can go and get the arrival in for the approach, the ILS 12 left, and Reshade for the initial approach fixed 119 and 110.1. As we can see coming through, we are rolling in. We've got LOWW, which is currently 8 nautical miles, 287 and 127, where we're then going to drop down in. As we're passing through onto our speed, which can all be managed now, as we let the aircraft do its thing, passing through 31,000 feet on our descent, coming down into the runway. So as we blast through 310, we can see there's VTUB as we're going to ride through, and on the speed restrictions coming in, we're going to be having 230 at VTUB for below 12,000 feet, where we're then going to make that right hand turn now, where we're going to start to come down. So as we manage our speed, we've got 317, we'll control the speed coming through. Passing through 297, and the aircraft's now going to start to descend down for 10,000, we're going to be below 12,000, 12,000 below. We've got 10,000, which is already pre-programmed on the MCP. And we're coming down for Woodhead, which is currently 49 nautical miles, passing through flight level 280. And on our speed, we're currently around 230 on our speed, which is Mach decimal 81. As we're slowly descending down into the airport. So if we go get our destination data and get the METARs down for Dubai. So METARs etc. down in Dubai today. We're looking for 1012. Visibility is 8,000 meters. We've got variable at 6 knots, which is coming over from the left, and we should be alright to come in. Everything looks fine. So 6 knots variable from all directions. Temperature is 33. Now because we're coming down now, temperature is just -1, so we can leave the anti-ice, which is all on. Seatbelt signs can be back on and checked as we pass through flight level 266. Weather looks nice and clear for us today as we ride through, and we'll get everything all in. So we've got 1012, which is going to be the QNH. Temperature is 33. Winds variable all directions, coming in for around 120. So we're looking around, say, 050 at 6. Trans is 150, just to double check. On for the arrival. Got 13, we'll say. .168 on the approach. So we're going to be going for a takeoff config full. So very, very fast indeed. And when we intercept, we're going to be intercepting for 2,000 feet. So everything's all nice there. Decision height is going to be 211. And that is our approach in 168, very fast indeed. As we pass through flight level 230. On the flight plan, we can see we've got VTEP, which is 14 to 13. So we're going to tell that it's got 12,000 below, which is fine. So you can see we're going to make that left-hand turn, which is then going to bring us down onto the runway, and we should be coming in on a lovely arrival today. Seatbelt signs are on, everything else is on, probe heats are checked. We come down, do the recall, which is set. We'll come down onto our systems, do the recall, which is also checked and set. Over on the engine display, everything's looking lovely. Seatbelt signs, no smoking are on, passing through flight level 220. As we can continue the descent, we're going to be slowing down to 230 knots once we approach to Vuteb, where we're then going to make that left-hand turn and then start to come around for the arrival. 211 on the MDA, as we can see. We're in descent mode. The throttles are idle, and we're currently following the nav, which would be basically LNAV, and that'd be VNAV. Standard QNH passing through 13,000 feet will then switch over onto 1012, which will go in passing through flight level 210. As we are going to now take control of our speed, we're going to start slowing down to 230. And we can open up the speed brakes. Engine anti-ice can now come off, which is set and checked. Everything else is all on. We are all ready to go. As we're going to slow down to 230, as we need to come down for under 12,000 feet. On a departure down, we can see flight level 14412. Then we'll ride all the way down to Rerick, mandatory 7,000 as we come through. So we can get 7,000 in right now, which is set and checked. Passing through 18,700 feet. And now we can see the windy bend for the approach coming round, and there's all our mandatory altitude constraints, all with the little pink magenta circles. Slowing down to 230 now. And we'll stay at 230 all the way down for 210 for the Delta Bravo 426. So once we get to 230, we'll then switch parts of that tip and we'll let the speed take control of everything that we need. On our speeds coming down, we've got 168, cleans 250, the slats will come for 237. Okay. So just passing through 17,000 feet. 230 max, so we'll open up the slats once we get down. As we can see, we're right near to Vuteb. Once we get down to Vuti, which is going to be at 10,000 below, we'll then be ready to slow the aircraft down. We'll open up our slats once we pass through 250. And then we'll let the speed brakes back in and we can arm them ready for the arrival. So we are right within reach of the airport. I thought we'd do runway 12, as it'd be nice to actually be able to do that. And because we've done 30 and it takes you miles out, so here we'll have some lovely views of all the scenery over to our right when we come in. And I'll make do some lovely landing cinematics as well. So we're just passing now over 250. The aircraft is above profile at the moment. Speed brakes are open. We'll stay for 250 until we just get down for below 10,000 feet. 7,000's in as we're just going to hit near to the coast, passing through 14,008. 10,000, which will be passing through 9,000 with the Delta Bravo 429 and then 7 for the 427. So we will get back onto profile once we move through. We'll leave 250 in as that as our slat extension speed. So we'll keep the speed brakes open from here until we get down passing 10,000 below. So we are going to be coming in nice and hot on the descent. Passing through 13,007, we're going to get the QNHs back on, which is for 1012, which is checked and cross-checked on either side. 7,000, which is plugged in. I'm going to plug that down to 2,000, which is where we're going to intercept for the ILS. The landing system will come on once we are just near, probably on the last left turn, which we're going to make through. So we're just currently now inbound, passing Vuti, and then we're going to make that right hand turn, which takes on to Delta Bravo 429. So as we're just passing 12,000 feet now, going to let the speed managed, and we can drop into a slats, which will take us down to around 230. Speed brakes are armed. So we'll slowly start now slowing down as we're going past through 11,600 feet. We're going to be taking in on our landing. We can take an auto brake number 2 as we slow down to our slats extension, which we're going to go down to for around 22. Ground spoilers are armed, passing through 11,000 as we need to meet the altitude constraints along with our speed constraints, as we're going to be 230 now. So we'll hold 230 and then at the Delta Bravo 426 we're going to slow to 210 and then turn around ready to come in for that lovely arrival. Passing through near to 10,000 feet now, we can get our landing lights, which are all on and checked. Seatbelt signs are all on, and we are ready for the arrival down. Spoilers are armed. as we come down through at 10,000 feet now, ready for Tulum for 9,001, 7,000 in, and then we drop down to 640 at Delta Bravo 421, which is going to be all ready and set for us. So at the Delta Bravo 426, we need to be at 210. As we can see, the speed restraint is there, which is fine. So we don't need to change that, everything's all fine. We're going to Tulum now, which is currently 1.2 DME, and then we're going to spin around. So as we slowly now slow to our slats extension, passing through 9,008, QNH to 1012, landing lights are all on, and we get a reload of some lovely clouds coming down onto the arrival. So ding the cabin, tell them to get ready as we pass through 9,500 feet. We haven't actually done runway 12 before, we've done runway 30, so that would be nice to do this side so we can get some lovely views as we go far out and we outbound track it all the way a few miles, and then we have to turn around and come back, whereas here we're going to hit the coast, just fly over the coast, and then we're going to spin around and ready to come into runway 12 left. So we'll be right next to the terminals when we come in, so we won't have to cross over or anything. There's our slat speed, throttles will now come back in, introduced. As we need to go down for 210. So as we go down for 210, I'm going to drop into our slats number 2. As we need to hold the altitude, the speed restraint, which is 210. So there will be our 210 coming in, the flaps 2, nice and hot. 168 is coming in for the approach speed. Once we make this right hand turn, we can then get the aircraft configured to come in, and we'll also get the landing system on, ready and armed. MDA's 211 for a 200-foot decision, as we're about to make that right hand turn now for the Delta Bravo 425 to the 421. A little bit of rough air in the vicinity. There's 7,000 feet, which is mandatory constraint. As we're now going to make that right hand turn to come back on ourselves now, ready for the arrival. From 7,000 we're then going to descend to 6,000, and then from 6,000 we're going to go all the way down to 2,000 feet, which will be right here ready for us to start the 3-degree glide path. Then way 12 left, which is going to be right here for us. As we now start to make that descent down, as we leave through, we're going to start to slow the aircraft down even more now. 243, which is already set and checked. We're going to hold down onto a flaps number 2. 2,000 feet, which is set on the MCP. As we pass through 6,200 feet. So there's just around 6,000 feet just holding, as we're then going to drop down to 2,000 feet, which will be setting as we can see. So we're going to be riding through to Alnet, then we've got Sogab, and then we've got to come all the way back round in for the arrival. REREC is our initial approach fix. As you can see, we're just following through now, and then we're going to come round and get onto a REREC, which is then going to be the initial approach fix coming down to the ILS. We're going to be intercepting at 2,000 feet, mandatory 6.2 DME from the ILS, which we can get on now, which is checked. And just to confirm, over on the nav radios, we've got the 110.1 and the 119 for the 3-degree glide path, which is checked and confirmed. 119 and the 110.1, which is all in and checked. On the arrival, everything looks to be all about board and within view. As we hold 6,000 feet, and then we'll get ready to make that left-hand turn back around on for the arrival. So 204 speed, 243. We're holding down on our slats 2, so then we can come around the bend and get in on that lovely arrival. As don't want to be coming in too slow, as it will take quite a while to get back around, and we're going to be sitting here forever waiting for that to happen. So 211 on the MDA for a 200-foot decision height. Got a little bit of rough air in the vicinity. Got 2,000 coming down, which is where we'll intercept on for the ILS. Flaps number 2 is engaged. And we're just passing now for Sigop for the 299. It's currently 2.4 DME. Just a few moments time, we're going to make that left-hand turn, and then we'll start to configure the aircraft that are ready to come down. We've got REREC, and then we've got Ukrum, and then from Ukrum we've then got the Delta Bravo 612, which is where we're going to roll, which will be all good for us. So we're just ready for that left-hand turn, as we just can feel a little bit of rough air in the vicinity. And then we're going to make that left-hand turn, and we'll be ready and set to come in for the arrival as we start to descend through our steps to 2,000 feet, which is in, and we've got descent mode, which is active along our nav, which we'll call out LNAV mode. No smoking seatbelt signs are on. Now onto that left-hand turn, we're going to now start to descend down through for 2,000 feet, where the aircraft's going to get ready to make its final preparations for us to come in for the runway. So we can see the ILS has gone out as we are too far away now. When we come back inbound, then we can get the ILS, which will come back into range, as we are currently 24 nautical miles away from the airport. So we'll swing that left-hand turn now, still holding 2-2. The REREC is currently going to be our second waypoint inbound, which is our initial approach fix, and then we are all set and ready to come in. We are here REREC, which we can see, and we are just one away now, tracking outbound onto the Delta Bravo 413. So 6,000 feet in, we're going to start our descent any minute now. Throttles will idle back. And we'll now make that descent to 2,000 feet as we go through our altitude constraint steps. 21 nautical miles now from the airport. Next altitude constraint is 5550, then 4210 for Rerick, 2000 for Ukrim. And Ukrim from Verick is going to be around 4 nautical miles. So as we go into the fog, ground spoilers are armed and checked. Passing through 5002, you can see the ILS and everything is all inbound and on and checked. We can get the localizer in now, which will be fine for us as we're going to come down for 5000 and down to 2. There's Rerick to Ukrim. Then from Ukrim, we're going to start the glide slope at the Delta Bravo 612, which is going to be about 5.8 nautical miles away from Ukrim. So as the aircraft now starts to make its final descent down for 2,000 feet, we're going to basically get everything all prepared and set for us. We can see the glide slope is just one needle above. We could activate it now. We're going to wait until the aircraft comes down for near to the 2,000 feet, so then we are on profile and ready to come in. So on our overhead we've got strobes on, everything else is all set and checked for us. Runway turn off lights will get on now so we don't forget. You can dim the cabin, let them know that we are ready to come down. Flaps number 2 is in and checked. Just pass it through for Ukrim for 3,700 feet. We're going to hold 2,000 ready to intercept for the glide slope, which is going to be at 6.2 DME from the India Delta Bravo Lima, which is our localizer. Localizer is in and established. We'll switch over and hit the glide slope. Once we get down for 2,000 feet, we'll pre-arm that. So we can pre-arm the glide slope now, as the aircraft's still going to follow down on its restrictions, coming down for 2,000 feet.
2,500.
2,500, which is checked. Still hold flaps 2, then we're going to drop a gear down until the glide slope comes to life. We're going to stabilise at 2,000 feet. 2,000 checked. Flaps will be down full, landing gear will be down, cabin is ready. So once we see the glide slope start to proceed down, we'll then go into our flaps 3 config and gear down. And then we'll go to our full config, which will be set. So 6.2 DME is where the glide slope is going to come to life from the localizer. We can see that we are 9.3 DME and inbound to land. So we've got our QNHs, which are checked and cross-checked on either side. We've got the 211 MDA for a 200-foot decision. We'll see the Category 1 come in once we get the glide slope in and everything, as we've got 200-foot. Landing lights, runway turn-off lights are on. As the glide slope's coming now, we'll go flaps 3, setting and gear down. Glide slope is now active and cabin is ready. So we're just holding on to our flaps 3 now as we are fully established on the glide slope. Landing lights, runway turn-offs are all checked, cabin is ready, and all we've got to do is set flaps to full and then we are ready to come in. So we'll go to our flaps full speed, which is our 168. There's a runway in sight, so we can get a bit of manual flying in. Can disengage the autopilot. Auto throttle is still in and checked. and I have manual control now of the aircraft. So let's keep it nice and controlled now, coming down the glide slope, 1000 checked. Got a little bit of rough weather as we come down.
Above. 200. Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10.
Okay, speed brakes are up. And reversers are active. Full pressure on the column. And here we are in lovely Dubai. 100 knots, reversers can be stowed. And 60 knots, water brakes can be disarmed as well. As we now get ready to pull off of the taxiway. And here we are, guys, in lovely Dubai. Now, one thing I did forget to turn off as the simulator reset its settings for some reason the other day. The terrain needs to be flattened, so it's basically straight. So as we go to pull off now, we get our flaps fully retracted, ground spoilers can be set back in, and here we are now at Dubai International Airport, guys. So we're going to come in, we're going to make this tight left-hand turn. And what we can do is we'll start to taxi on up to the gate. So I hope you enjoyed the flight, guys. Hope you enjoyed the arrival, the views, as I leave you with the landing cinematics for the 1-2 left arrival on the VOTEB 3 Bravo Star for lovely Dubai International Airport. So I'll see you guys very soon, next available flight. Don't forget to like and subscribe, support the channel as we get to our 2,000 subscriber goal. So stay safe, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.